All right, family, come on in. There are a lot of great quarterbacks in the NFL. But let's talk about the ones that are 25 and younger. That's the future of the National Football League. I'm going to give you the 5 best quarterbacks aged 25 and down. At number 5, beginning this list, it is Justin Fields. I have extremely high hopes for Justin Fields this year. Keep in mind, the Chicago Bears committed to this man because they had the number 1 pick and they moved off of it. They said, we are fully committed to you. 1,100 yards rushing last year, second most in the history of the National Football League as a quarterback. I think his passing yards will grow this upcoming season. At number 4, the chosen one of Trevor Lawrence. Y'all remember, he was one of the most highly touted quarterbacks ever coming out of college. Clemson, freshman, national championships. I mean, he was a dude. 4,000 passing yards, 30 passing touchdowns last season in his first year with Super Bowl head coach Doug Peterson. Expect Trevor Lawrence to keep getting better. At number 3, quarterbacks 25 and younger, is Tua Tagovailoa. I know. Why is he so low on my list? Because he was injured last year and he did not beat the man at number 2 when he faced him head-to-head. At number 2, respect to Justin Herbert. Now, if you look closely, if you look very, very closely, well, at least if you look closely in my mind, you'll see asterisks by Justin Herbert at number 2 because they will meet in the first game of the season, Justin Herbert and Tua Tagovailoa. Those 2 quarterbacks will meet. That can be adjusted. Now, at number 1, it's simple. Jalen Hurts. Let's stop all the antics, stop all the charades. Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback, age 25 and younger. Let's head to the desk. Dolphins fans, there should have been asterisks. Okay, I do believe Tua can and will overtake Justin Herbert after week 1 of the NFL season. I trust it will happen. There we go. There are my asterisks. There they are. Now, Slick, I know you
That was easy,
think...
though. That was easy. This was an easy list.
You think?
Yeah, come on. A blind man could see you had Jalen Hurts number 1. Like, duh.
I think so.
I mean, duh.
Like, to not have Jalen Hurts as your number 1 quarterback, 25 and younger, is completely irrational, right, Slick? I mean, just nobody would do that.
I know what I'm up against. Okay? I watched the show. I wasn't on the show in the fall, but I was here with all of the Justin Herbert slander, the social media quarterback. I was here for that. I wasn't here for that, but I observed that. And I'll put it as simply as this. Regardless of whatever else you want to say, if there was a draft today with available quarterbacks 25 or younger, Justin Herbert would be the number 1 pick by the majority of NFL teams. Yeah. 6'6", 235, his ability. That's how I'm reading it here.
All-American hair.
The best quarterback 25 or younger. I take nothing away from Jalen Hurts and what he accomplished, but let's face it, it was a surprise that he was able to do what he did for the Eagles last season to take them to a Super Bowl. It was. He was on the clock. It was to determine whether they were going to go in another direction or whether he could get the job done. Now, he demonstrated that without question. But if I'm just looking at the overall talent between the 2, rather than the team collective accomplishments, I mean, even the individual stats. Justin Herbert set every possible rookie quarterback record, sophomore quarterback record, threw the most yards for any quarterback the first 3 seasons. Like, I don't I think there's at least, I'm not going to say it's definitive, but the idea that it's irrational to think that Justin Herbert could be viewed as the best 25 and under quarterback, I don't think that's irrational.
Okay, that might have been a little heavy-handed. Okay, irrational might have been a little too much cayenne. Okay, Joy, assuming it is Jalen Hurts, right? Jalen Hurts, he had a phenomenal season last year, second-team All-Pro. We all know, we watched it attentively. How much pressure is on Jalen Hurts this upcoming season?
Talent. Is he talented?
Are we still
talented? I don't think there's that much pressure on Jalen Hurts. He just took his team to the Super Bowl. And we can talk all about how great the team was. And the team was great. But we have eyeballs, right, Shady? Like, we watch it, too. And we saw what they were when he was out.
That's right.
And he was in the MVP race until that happened. And he was the catalyst of them getting to the Super Bowl. So when you get to a Super Bowl, you get a little space. Sure. You get a little wiggle room. He's also been paid. He's clearly the future of that organization. So when I think of pressure, I think of people that still need to prove themselves, still need to have a couple other accomplishments in their belt. So I think he has not a year to take off. I think they're still going to make it to the playoffs, and they probably need to win a playoff game at least for it to not feel like a massive disappointment. I know the expectations are Super Bowl every year, but they're hard to get to. I think there's way more pressure on Justin Herbert. I think it's Herbert. As far as pressure goes, Herbert, Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Jordan Love, and Justin Fields in order of how much pressure is on guys who are of this ilk under 25.
Shady, I would agree, but knowing Philly, and you know Philly very well, you know Philly even better than I do, I think there's a tremendous amount of pressure on Jalen Hurts. I think once you get paid, those gloves start to come off. Not only that, I think if you recall, it was 2011, the Eagles paid Mike Vick $100 million. By 2013, it was, hey, big dog, take this 1 year, $7 million deal, or, we might have to move on from you. 2019, the Eagles paid Carson Wentz $130 million. By 2021, Carson Wentz was up out of there. So I know the Eagles will commit to you monetarily, and they will fall out of love with you as fast as they fell in love with you. I think there's pressure on Hurts. How much in your mind?
Yeah, I think it's a nice amount of pressure. I'm going to be honest. I mean, you talked about the Eagles, but that's the NFL in general.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If we pay you, you don't produce right away or in the next couple of years, they'll try to, get some of that money back. They might trade you or cut you. That's how it works. But my thing for him is obviously the money. Anytime you give somebody, $180 million guaranteed, that adds on pressure. So now that every time that something goes wrong, they looking at you, right? Well, compared to last year, he wasn't making that much. He was on the cusp of doing well each week, getting better and better and better. So he'll get pressure from the money. And also, I want to say this, the team did so well last year, and I think we have majority of them pieces back, right? Some, they make it, but majority of them are back. And we're looking for the Eagles to repeat that same success. I'm not saying that I go to Super Bowl and win it because it's hard to do, but even on that same path, getting to a conference game is big, So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. I just think that it's automatically pressure when you get that type of money and people are looking at you. Think about it. He would have won that MVP if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
So now we put you in that category. Okay, you have so many MVP votes. You can be second team All-Pro. That's pressure. So we'll see what happens. I think he'll answer that calling.
It's interesting, though, because I don't disagree. I put Jalen to some degree, and if y'all can hear me when I say this, before Dak Prescott got paid, he could do no wrong. 4th-round pick, extreme overachiever. Took over for Tony Romo, 13-3 first year, MVP votes, oh, my God. Man, when Dak got paid, those gloves came off so fast. It was just bare-knuckle punches emotionally and virtually with people's words. That, to me, is to some degree where Hurts is. Hurts' first year, he was a wildcat quarterback. He was inactive his first game, if y'all remember. Carson Wentz was out there. Hurts was on the bench in sweats. Then he came in, and he was a wildcat quarterback. Then he came in, I believe his first play was as a decoy at wide receiver. Then he took over, I think it was week 12 against the New Orleans Saints. He starts, he wins, to everybody's shock. Right. Then his second year, they was all right, 9-7, maybe 9-8, went to the playoffs, got mollywopped. But then last year, Joy's point, Shady's point, dominated. Now, everybody looks at Jalen Hurts as that player who can dominate. So to my mind, Joy and Slick, now he has to dominate because I know how good you are. Yeah. It's not a feel-good story anymore. Now I know you legit. You very, very, very legit.
Yeah, this is the heart of the pressure is Philadelphia Eagles are probably not quite as good a team as they were last year, at least roster-wise on paper going into the season. Jalen Hurts getting paid, this is the way it always works, getting paid is expected to make up the shortfall. Whatever they're missing, he's supposed to provide. And particularly when we look at the NFC, they're not supposed to fall off because the NFC, the competition is not there. The Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts are expected to be at the top. And as Shady has said many times, that's still hard to do. Yes, it's easy to say, hey, you went to the Super Bowl last year, the conference isn't that good, just do it again. But far easier said than done. But Jalen Hurts, you tell me, is anybody else from the Philadelphia Eagles, would you turn to anyone else if they fall short and say, how come he didn't do it?
Well, no, quarterbacks always get all the praise, they get all the money, they get all the accolades, and then they get all the blame. That's whether it's fair or not. That's how it works. But, I mean, Herbert's going to get paid. We expect him to get paid any minute. Yeah. He's going to get paid. He hasn't won a playoff game. Tua's got to stay healthy. Trevor Lawrence needs to live up to the hype of being the biggest, most hyped-up prospect that we've seen come out of college since, Peyton Manning? Jordan Love is replacing Aaron Rodgers. Justin Fields, they could have drafted another quarterback, decided to stick with him. I understand there's going to be pressure on Jalen Hurts, but in my mind, Jalen has answered a lot of questions, and he's been compensated for answering those questions that we had based off of his first 2 years. There's other guys around the league that are put into the same conversation. Tua, Herbert, we just did it. Justin Fields, as Jalen Hurts at the top of their space in the NFL as young quarterbacks, who I think have way more pressure and way more questions about them.
Do any of those other guys have to go to the conference championship to validate who they are?
Well, the better you are and the more you're paid, the better you are and the more you're paid, the more expectations there are.
I know, but I don't think anybody looks at any of those other teams with those quarterbacks and says they should be in the conference championship.
I mean, Herbert.
And without question, we say that about Hurts.
Should be in the conversation with that.
If Herbert does not go to a conference game, they will not make a big deal about it.
No, they won't.
Yeah.
If Jalen Hurts doesn't get close to that conference game, they're going to make a big deal about it.
That's because the Eagles and them set that standard.
But I'm saying, but that comes with success. When you have all the success that they didn't expect, now your value is so high. It's like, he has to produce. Because you look at Tua, right? If Tua don't really play well this year, okay, they might talk about it, but it's not going to be a super big issue like it would be for Jalen Hurts. Think about it for a second, though.
They've been trying to replace Tua since he got in the league.
The other thing that's fascinating...
But they give him passes, though.
Yeah, but if he doesn't perform this year, I don't see him being there after this year. Now, he had a great year until he wasn't healthy, but he could be gone. Trevor Lawrence is going to be there, but the pressure will mount on him.
He's another one.
Justin Herbert, though, to me, I think there's way more pressure on Justin. We're early to the, is Justin Herbert a winner?
But where's the pressure at? Because they always talk about how great he looks, how good his passes is. He has the best balls.
To me, you can't keep talking about how much more talented and how beautiful he is if with the team that he has a really talented team. We just don't have the same expectations of them as we do with the Eagles.
He's in the same conference with the best.
Yeah.
They're going. I'm telling you the excuses they're going to use. They use that excuse.
Saying, we just have to acknowledge that they're excuses.
All I'm saying is that the pressure. I'm always biased. That's just what it is. But the pressure is going to be more on Jalen Hurts than Justin Herbert. Just the stuff that Jalen has did compared to where he hasn't done, and they don't see him doing that. You ain't gonna be beating Mahomes. You ain't gonna be doing that.
It's interesting when I think about expectations. The Chargers are used to mediocrity. No slight to them, but they're just used to it. Even with Phillip Rivers, I think they only got to a conference championship game one time. Yep. The Dolphins, with all due respect, I know they're trying to turn the tide, but the Dolphins are unfortunately used to mediocrity.
Dolphins make me cry.
The Bears have never had a 4,000-yard quarterback. They are used to mediocrity. Now, Jordan Love is an interesting conversation. The Packers are used to being great.
But you're not expecting that.
No.
Nobody is expecting that in Wisconsin.
No.
Nobody. Even his coach said it. His coach said, I'm not expecting to get Aaron Rodgers.
Which is still crazy. Well, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, that's a heck of a transition. He could be the missing piece.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.